Hey guys, Mouse here, and in this video I just want to talk about the in-game balance adjustments that's gonna happen on the next patch on Thursday, September 12th. So we're gonna be receiving a lot of buffs to the rune skills here. So they already released the details here in actually separate notices, one here at the in-game balance adjustments and developer notes, one of the developer notes. So there's gonna be a lot of skills that are gonna be buffed here, and some of them are gonna receive like ×2, ×3 damage, ×5 even, like this one, like 463% to 2454%. This is the dark skill, vertical arts with the counter attack. And you probably already heard that one of the reasons why they're doing this now is, well, we should be happy that they're doing this because Jinwoo is lagging in terms of DPS. But one of the reasons they actually did this was because of an issue on the skill Magnifying Slashes, the Sonic Stream Magnifying Slashes, which is, there was apparently a bug that resulted to abnormal damage. Basically, it's like super OP. You can reach like 7 billion, 8 billion in POT, which was not really possible before. There was a problem when it comes to the stacking, wherein when you dash, you're gonna get more stacks right away, and that leads to like abnormal damage that's way higher than the other skills. Well, even if without the bug, then the skill is actually pretty good and pretty solid and a lot higher than most of the skills. So according to them, it was a confirmed bug. Okay, so their stance here is that if we were to modify the skill according to the original design intent, there is a possibility that hunters may perceive this as a nerf. Therefore, we intend to maintain the current state. So some are happy about this decision and some are not. And to be honest, I actually don't agree with this decision, because my stance when it comes to bugs is to fix the bugs and heavily compensate affected parties. Because this one is different from nerf. This is actually just a perception that this is gonna be nerf, or a possibility that it may be perceived as a nerf, which is different from something that was as intended or designed as intended and functioning properly and will be nerfed sometime in the future due to some reasons. Okay, so this one is actually a confirmed bug, which is why I think this should have been fixed. So the solution of the devs right now, which is actually another like legit solution as well, but it also comes with a big risk to the game, I believe. Hopefully not, but I hope it's not gonna turn out bad. But you know, I don't know myself, so I just want to mention this because I don't see people talking about this potential risk when it comes to the game balance that we're having right now. Okay, the game has imbalances right now, right? You guys know that in the past as well, there has been like problems when it comes to balancing, with other hunters becoming too strong like Alicia, other hunters like becoming too weak like Suyun. So historically, we have like major imbalances that already happened in the game. Some weapons, as you saw some Pain Blades videos, recent videos, the weapons also have sort of imbalance, wherein Westwind is still stronger than everything else. Things like those, basically. So their decision now is to actually just buff the skills. But the thing is, if there's a really like astronomically higher damage skill existing in the game, it's not just the rune skills that you're gonna have to adjust, because basically by design they designed this in a specific way. And just a disclaimer, I'm not expert when it comes to this. I'm just a player who's plays a lot of hours and do test a lot of things, and I'm just worried that this might actually harm the game if they mess this up even more because of their decision not to just fix the bug and just buff everything else. Okay, I'm gonna explain to you why. So we should be happy that the skills are gonna get buffed, right? But one problem that may arise right now, which they should do, I think, and in my opinion, they should do next, is because if they improve the skills, like you see here, we have a very, very low multiplier here. When the patch kicks in, the multiplier is gonna be a lot higher, of course, just so that the damage will be close to the magnifying slash. And by the way, we're gonna get a selector, heroic selector after the patch. So one problem that may arise there is that Song Jinwoo's weapon is already weak currently, and they will double or triple the damage of the skills, which might lead to imbalance when it comes to the damage of the weapons and the damage of the skills. So obviously they should buff the weapons next. And like I said, if there's one skill that's existing in the game that can potentially like that has a way higher damage than everything else, then they actually have to adjust everything to that. Otherwise, the overall design of the game might get affected. And not only the damage of the weapons, because if you check the damage of the weapons, like we have like damage related weapons here, their skill damage is just like 162k, although they would benefit from the advancement, but it's some of these are already too weak, right? And then if we buff the skills by a lot, then what's gonna happen then? So I hope I'm wrong. This is just my opinion and my estimation on what's gonna happen, because some skills are gonna be too strong then that it will overshadow weapons damage and might lead to actually just, or like make some DPS weapons even less relevant than they are, and maybe would lead to people just choosing support weapons like Moonshadow or Grim for every game content, because they can pretty much multiply the damage of the skills that are gonna be buffed with higher damage multiplier. So that's just one of the things that I'm worried about right now. And like, because that it's a good decision, that it's a good initiative from them. I'm just worried it all happened too fast. The numbers are already out in just a matter of few days, and some skills are actually receiving like a lot of really huge damage increase. The armor break multi-shadow strike, this is the holy break skill, which is gonna receive like ×3 multiplier at legendary, roughly about 2 to 3 times damage increase. And one of the things that might happen here is that some game content in the early game, if you're a new player, then the experience are gonna be different than what others have experienced like in the past, like in the first few months. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I just worry that some areas might be too easy to finish now with these buffs. So this is a controversial decision in my opinion. Like something that it's not like all positive, guys. This comes with a risk. It should worry us in the future, because I'm gonna give you one example. What would happen if in the future, like someone messed up the numbers again, like maybe added 1-0, and there's gonna be a skill that will deal like insane amount of damage, then like astronomically high damage, broken damage. That's gonna be game breaking. Okay, so what's gonna happen then? Are they gonna like nerf it or fix? Not nerf. Are they gonna fix it, or are they gonna turn it into feature? Because what happened here is that they actually turned that bug into feature. Basically, that was their decision. So the first thing that they have to do here, to be honest, is really to change the description now that this thing applies, because they're gonna like, they made it official, right? So if they don't do that, then I don't know, but they should, because that was their major stance. I'm not sure if it's already changed in the game. Let me just check real quick. It's still not here. So if they intend to add that mechanics, then it should be in the skills, right? So that it will not be perceived as something else, okay? Not that a bug that became a feature that they accepted as a feature. So I think that's the first step to do here. Aside from improving this, we'll see if they're gonna change it in the future. And also, they mentioned here actually, aren't here in the dev note, the live stream summary. First of all, we apologize for the confusion regarding the skill rune balance. Our plan was to enhance Jinwoo's performance through skill balancing, but there were unintended bugs and it was confirmed that they dealt more damage than expected. However, considering the impact on gameplay, we decided to keep them as they are, as they seemed effective in terms of fun. But in their first hears that there's a possibility that my hunters may perceive this as a nerf. So, and also here they mentioned that our guiding principle in managing the game is to avoid nerfing the balance. Well, I agree with that, but this was clearly a bug that hunters are currently experiencing. We believe that hunters have noticed our commitment to this principle through previous buffs, including to those two characters like Sojiwoo. Nerfing characters would turn satisfaction of experience into disappointment, which is why we aim to maintain this operational. That's good. That's actually good. I highly agree with that. So as for the strong extreme magnifying slashes, however, we had to go through a lot of consideration and discussion because too much damage was dealt upon activation under certain circumstances, which was the one they wrote in the known issues, and a lot of people are using this already. So after careful discussion, we have concluded to buff other runes to the equivalent level of the current magnifying slashes for other runes to be selected by our hunters. So now, they only mentioned about the runes itself. But buffing those runes, I feel, is gonna have effect as well on the other stuff, like monsters' HP, right? Hunters' strength currently, firepower currently, by design. Like I mentioned, it's gonna affect the experience of the other players. Like probably, let's say in the early game, then the skills are too strong for the total power. So I'm not sure how they're gonna address that. Are they gonna adjust the monsters' HP as well? The difficulty of the monsters, are they gonna adjust those? The weapons, most especially, the weapons are gonna have like way lower multiplier now compared to the skill damage. Well, they are even weaker prior to this buff, right? Most of them, like we're using mostly support weapons, and with this buff, then it's gonna make the weapons less relevant. Maybe the meta is gonna be like more on support weapons again. So that's gonna be the next step that they're gonna do. So they mentioned that they have prepared balance adjustments measures to increase the type of buffs receiving runes and buffing them. Yeah, so I guess they're gonna stick with it now since they're gonna buff this, and I feel like this is one of the reasons why the WOBL is gonna get delayed, because there's like the balance now is too shaky. Support Jinwoo now, it's becoming a bit more DPS. I don't think it's gonna be like super DPS still without that magnifying slashes, but we'll see. We have no information yet on what's gonna happen on the weapons, as well as the monsters, as well as the other game content that might be affected by this. POD, for example, we're gonna increase the skill, so everyone's damage is gonna skyrocket. It's kind of shaky. What's like, I don't know. I'm just worried about how they're gonna approach this over the next few months. Hopefully they're gonna fix. Hopefully they can fix the game balance, everything, like before the WOBL and before the guild leaderboard, because this thing right here, some skills are not included here as well for some reason, but I guess they have reasons why they did not include that. For example, in the vertical arts, I did not see the fire vertical arts, which is the vertical arts crosshairs. So it's not here. Yeah, it's not here as well. So I did not see that. So what's gonna happen then, because the multiplier of sequent explosions is gonna be times 3, almost times 2.5 to 3 times damage multiplier. So yeah, I think that's gonna be it for this video. Let me know your thoughts on this. I'm just making this video to kind of raise this as well, if Netmarble is gonna watch this, or for you guys as well, to have a discussion on whether or not it's do you agree with the decision that they're just gonna buff everything else because of the mess up on the magnifying slash, or do you feel like they should just fix this and keep the game as is, and buff the skills and buff the weapons separately according to the game content, or do you agree that they should do this so that they can just like stick to what they promised of not nerfing? So yeah, feel free to discuss in the comment section. I just wanted to raise this topic because I feel like the other side of this is not often talked about. We were talking about, most people are talking about how great the devs are, how their decision to buff everything else, their decision to not nerf. But all of these, like, there are pros and cons in every action that they're gonna make as a community as well. I kinda don't like how the community is approaching this, like threatening the devs or scaring them. I feel like the devs and its players, or the business owners and its players, should have like a more friendly or open communication to build the game for a better future, not in a way that they're gonna be scared of each other, like the players being scared that the game might close or might end, or being scared of the devs fucking up the game, or the devs being scared of losing customers. I don't think it's the way that we should approach this. So yeah, overall, we'll see over the coming weeks and months how this will turn out, how the overall balancing will turn out. Hopefully they can like really make the game balanced, because man, over like the past few weeks or months, there's so much imbalances in the game. So yeah, thanks so much again for watching, and see you on the next one.